This desolate house is all that remains of what once was a thriving neighborhood in a riverbank community in Cagayan de Oro in the Philippines. All other houses were completely wiped out in the 2011 floods caused by tropical storm Sendong.
Nung unsa gid kataas day ang tubig nung tudua dayon.
Kanang kuan tiris.
Kana liging salog sa teres.
Salog sa tiris.
Jesus Maria.
A lone survivor, Mr. Saturnino Zambrano shows how high the water rose during the storm. He and his family are the only people remaining in the area because they have no means to move. Sendong took the lives of over 1,300 people, as this monument in the city center recalls. It exposed the vulnerability of the area's water infrastructure and highlighted the lack of resilience of the river catchment and the water supply infrastructure. Upstream, deforestation, monoculture and slash-and-burn agriculture practices are just some activities that result in a downstream catchment that is extremely vulnerable to flooding. These problems are complex and intertwined. In general, policies on logging, poaching and mining are enforced only weakly, and agriculture is slowly creeping into forest lands. In this process, ancestral domains of indigenous people are often not recognized. Also, there is an overall lack of understanding of the delicate balance that exists between land use upstream and its consequences for the downstream areas. The risk of flooding is also a constant threat to the operations of the Cagayan de Oro Water District, or COWD. Their main booster pumping station was completely flooded during Sendong and again during tropical storm Vinta in December 2017. As a result, the population of Cagayan de Oro had no water for 3 weeks until everything had been restored. COWD is now receiving support from the Netherlands drinking water company VEI to address these issues and become more resilient to flooding. Thousands of families that were displaced by Sendong have been relocated to areas like this one in Kamaman-an, where they have rebuilt their lives. Although the local government has provided acceptable housing, a lot remains to be done. COWD and VEI are planning to supply each of these houses with safe water. And here, in a school a few miles away, the Philippines Red Cross, one of the partners in the project, is planning on repairing toilets and hand-washing facilities. Reach to Coast, Rain to Tap is an ambitious project financed by the Netherlands Ministry of Foreign Affairs and 6 implementing partner organizations. The project aims to strengthen the resilience of not only the river catchment and the water distribution network, but also the resilience of vulnerable communities to heavy rainfall and flooding. The project's goals are reduced risk of future flooding through integrated river basin management, a climate-resilient water supply infrastructure, and improved water supply, sanitation and hygiene practices.
Hi, I'm Kudus,
Hi, I'm Arain.
and welcome to Awash Basin in Ethiopia. We are going to explore how water stress affects Awash River Basin in Ethiopia. The Awash River is of major importance of Ethiopia. Around 70 million people live in the basin. It hosts some of the largest industrial parks in the country, is a major producer of agricultural products, and pastoralists rely on the basin for feeding their livestock.
So we asked our colleagues in Awash Basin Authority, is there water stress in the basin?
We have plenty of water resources. Our irrigation canal capacity is simply not large enough to efficiently use our water resources.
Only during El Niño years we face natural water scarcity.
There is water scarcity. We cannot use the full potential of our land resources because we do not have enough water.
The water scarcity we face is artificial. We do not have the money to invest in good water storage infrastructure.
Is there water stress? Our colleagues have different opinions. but they all agree on one thing. Every year we observe that there is not enough water for everyone. Vulnerable smallholder farms and downstream uses are the first ones to dry up. Production has reduced. Farmers change their irrigation frequency. Large farms are changing to drought-resilient crops. The lack of water resources has led to tensions between neighboring users, mistrust between upstream and downstream users, and even between regional governments. Users complain to the Awash Basin Authority that they are not receiving enough water. Out of grievance over water accessibility, local communities have burned down farms and canals.
We also asked our colleagues what are the causes of water stress in the Awash Basin.
First, we have the natural factors. Rainfall is highly variable in space and time. Floods and meteorological droughts are yearly phenomena in the Awash Basin. Second, there is a management problem. There is over and insufficient utilization of the river, triggered by limited knowledge of the resource, limited enforcement of water rules and regulation, and lack of awareness on equity, efficiency, and sustainable development. Third, scarce economic resources that limits investment in storage capacity and efficient irrigation techniques. Lastly, there is a power asymmetry among the actors, which constrains collaboration.
So, is there water stress in the Awash Basin? There is water in Awash Basin. We think water stress in the basin is an economic and management problem. Thank you for watching our video. Hope to see you in Awash Basin in Ethiopia soon. Ciao!
The Niger River water is enormously important for Mali. It facilitates subsistence and development. But pollution is reducing the water quality. This video addresses the challenges faced by Mali's water utility called Somajeb.
My name is Boubacar Kane. I'm the CEO of Somajeb. Somajeb is Mali's national water utility, supplying water to more than 58 urban cities in the country. We serve about 3.1 million people.
Access to drinking water in Mali is steadily increasing, but the quality of the water resource is degrading. That's possibly already causing health problems. Wastewater pollutes Malian rivers, wetlands, and groundwater. The wastewater comes from residential areas, industries like abattoirs, tanneries and mining, and irrigation return flow. Sewerage and wastewater treatment is only found in the capital city, serving less than 1% of Mali's inhabitants.
It has a consequence for us to use a lot of chemicals to potabilize the water. Then our cost is really very high right now in terms of trying to make the water very potable for the people.
Water quality degradation affects people in other ways too.
Water quality degradation affects also ecosystem like the delta downstream on which people depend directly for drinking water, fish, and domestic uses like washing. This is especially the case during the low flows in the dry season and when water is allocated for hydropower and irrigation.
Mali does have policies on protecting water quality. However, implementation of these policies is affected by lack of capacity to, for example, monitor water quality and emission control compliance, and by limited investing of financial resources.
Well, the government is making a lot of efforts to stop the river pollution, first through the Ministry of Environment, and also through our own ministry, the Ministry of Water and Energy.
Protecting water sources from pollution is everyone's responsibility. It cannot be left to public authorities alone. Using healthy ecosystems to purify polluted water may be one of the solutions.